Jan Eisenhart was one of Canada's most important fitness and physical activity leaders. In the 1920s, Jan was one of the first Danish professional soccer players, achieving success with French club Marseille. In 1927, he moved to Vancouver and dedicated his life to improving the health of the homeless and marginalized, working with the city's Parks Board. He pioneered multiple fitness initiatives before he was tasked with developing a province-wide recreation program. In 1950, he joined the Department of Indian Affairs as Director of Sports and Games. The thought of the department at the time was that participation in organized sports and physical fitness programs was a way to instill the values of the settler society in Indigenous youth. Over time, it was believed this would help dilute Indigenous culture and assimilate Indigenous youth. As Jan traveled the country visiting reserves, day schools, and residential schools, he found unhealthy living conditions and severely lacking infrastructure. He suggested that a broad, well-funded plan for physical fitness in Indigenous communities would provide one solution to these problems. He also felt that prizes and trophies would help encourage fitness and sport participation, with the most prestigious being the Tom Longboat Medal. However, Jan's superiors at Indian Affairs ignored and failed to provide support for his recommendations. As a result, he asked the Amateur Athletic Union of Canada to collaborate. Under their guidance, the Tom Longboat Awards were developed to share the story of how Indigenous athletes were successfully integrating into mainstream society. However, it would take 20 years before an Indigenous-focused organization, the National Indian Brotherhood, now known as the Assembly of First Nations, assumed responsibility for the awards. In 1999, the awards came under the guidance of the Aboriginal Sports Circle, increasing Indigenous input and establishing an award for a female and male nominee. Under the guidance of the AFN and the ASC, the award shifted from its initial purpose of assimilation into a celebration of Indigenous self-determination. Though they faced challenges in the early years, the Tom Longboat Awards have played an instrumental role as a symbol of preservation and retelling of Indigenous sport history in Canada.